Hi there, Pepper Kimtis here with Chicago Title. This is going to be a pretty in-depth tutorial about chicagotitle.com, also known as our Premier Services website. If you're not already a member, simply click on Join Us Now. You'll have to fill out some basic information, including your email address and your company information. Want to make sure that it knows you're not a robot just trying to gain access to our website. And then it's going to ask you for some more information here. As soon as you type in your zip code, it's actually going to go out and find the sales representatives that are in your area. So if you don't see your rep on this list, simply click here to view everyone. And the reason why this is important, make sure that you select your sales executive so that they can approve your application from their smartphone. If you don't have a sales rep or you're not sure who that may be, call your local branch and ask to speak to a sales administrator that can help you out. Picking a random person that isn't in your area will only delay your approval because your actual sales executive won't have access to your account in order to get you approved. You'll have to acknowledge a simple disclaimer down here at the very bottom, and that basically states that this is free information, not an insurance product. Data from the site is deemed reliable but not guaranteed, so you may come across a discrepancy every once in a while. So now that my account is approved, I'm going to go ahead and log in here. ChicagoTitle.com is going to be your passport account to a lot of our other apps and websites that we'll be discussing in future tutorials. And what I mean by that is once you're signed up on Premier Services, you'll be able to use your same login credentials for Title Now, Walking Farm, Active Farm, and Easy to Read comps. They're all tied together in the same email address and password, so you don't have to remember a bunch of different passwords. They're just all connected. We wanted it to be seamless across all of our products, and that's just one of the ways that we've made the user experience even easier for all of our clients. The site has been around for about 20 years, and we've come a long way in both the design and functionality in that time. The heart and soul of Premier Services is that it's a self-service website so that our clients can access property profiles 24/7. With that in mind, we wanted to make the ease of doing that our #1 priority. So once you're in, you're going to see this big search screen in the middle. Most people look for the property profiles by the address or the APN, so you can see you can toggle back and forth between that. Once you start typing in an address, though, you're going to notice that it brings up a pick list. So we're now using Bing Maps predictive technology to populate a list for you. So once you enter in the first few characters, it's going to bring up that list for you. Just click on the address you're looking for to run your search. So now you're going to see the street view on the left-hand side, and the right-hand side will have the aerial view with the parcel overlay. Both of these maps are interactive. If you click on the rooftops around it, you're going to be able to recenter the map around that address. It'll give you that owner's name, that address, and it'll let you get the property profile from there. Same thing on the street view. If you click back and forth between the arrows, it'll move back and forth on those property addresses as well. This is really nice because it gives you a little bit more flexibility when you're generating a search, as well as the ability to get property profiles without necessarily knowing the exact address of the property you're searching. This comes in really handy, especially when you're looking for commercial properties where the street address doesn't always match the site address. So now that you've located your property, you have a few more options. First and foremost is the big yellow button that says Get Property Profile. You can't miss it. We just wanted to make that as easy and obvious as possible, since that is the bulk of what people do on this website. You're also going to notice this little A over here, and what that means is that you can get your property profile translated to a few other languages, including Spanish, Korean, and Mandarin Chinese. Up here, you can customize your report, and what that's going to do is let you pick the different components of your property profile that you need or don't need. Everything is defaulted to be included, but let's say you don't need the neighborhood overview or anything like that. You can uncheck those and save those settings for your future profiles as well. Same thing with custom comparable settings. So these are your auto comps. 1 year back, a mile and a half out, plus or minus 15% on the square footage. You can actually change these. So if you wanted a few more comps or a few less comps, or you wanted the bedrooms and bathrooms to go up or down more, you can do that. You can actually put in a range for the year built, the square footage, stuff like that. You can go back a little bit further. You can go back as far as 2 years, or you can go out as far as 5 miles. So again, once you save these, those changes will be available for all of your searches. So the first time that you come to Premier Services and try to get a property profile, you're probably going to have to adjust your pop-up blocker settings. The profile opens in a new window, so most browsers are going to block it initially. If you're clicking on Get Profile but nothing is happening, chances are it's because your browser is treating it as a pop-up and blocking it. I'm using Chrome, so this is what you're going to see here. And that's what the site is optimized for, so I'm going to show you how to adjust that here. But if you're using Internet Explorer or Firefox, Safari, anything else like that, you're going to have to go through a similar process. And for a split second, Chrome will say pop-up blocked right here next to the address bar, but that's going to be a blink and you miss it kind of thing. So all you have to do is right-click and then click on Always Allow Pop-ups and Redirects from premier.ctic.com. So now you just have to go back, click Get Property Profile, and this time it's going to go ahead and open for you. So you're going to see all the different parts of the profile, and that includes the site address, the mailing address, who it was provided by, including your sales rep's information, the legal description, some information about the property itself as far as bedrooms, bathrooms, year built, square footage, the last vesting change, tax information as well. You'll have some information on the property history. So if you have asked your sales executive to turn on documents for you, these will be hyperlinked. So all you have to do is click on them and it'll open up in a new window the full recorded documents. We keep scrolling on down. Right here. Grant deed. So if we keep scrolling on down, you're going to see the comparables all plotted out on a map here. You'll see them numbered for you. And this first little section is going to give you just a quick analysis, the median bedrooms, bathrooms, year built, stuff like that on here. Then you're going to have the detailed comparables, a lot more information about each property. We're going to scroll on down past this. You're also going to have a one-line summary here. And what's nice about this is then you don't have to go through all the details. You can just kind of get a good idea of the different comps that are on here, laid out nice and neat, just the addresses, when they sold, how much they sold for, and all that good stuff. So if you see on here that there's comps that you don't want included, maybe they're a little higher than you want to show, a little lower than you want to show, then you can actually scroll back up, uncheck the ones that you don't want, come down and hit display only selected comparables, and then that's going to adjust the comps that you have on here. You'll see that we had 2 removed. It's going to adjust the median figures as well, and it'll also remove them from my little one-line report. The neighborhood overview are just properties directly surrounding your subject. So these are not comparable sales. These are just the neighbors. We also have the plat map on here. I know it seems a little bit small, but all you have to do is click on that. It's also going to open up in a new window so you can easily identify your property, the lot number, how big that lot is, if there's a track number or the map book and page, that'll also be here on the plat map as well. We come back up here, you've got ways to share it. So you can save it as a PDF, you can print it out, you can email it, you can even open an order directly from this page. If you don't know the property address, but you need to search it by either the APN or the owner's name, you can actually come up here to the advanced search, and that's going to give you a few more options. You can search it, like I said, right here by the owner's name, first and last name. You can do a wildcard by using the percentage sign. So like I said, if their name was J. Smith, you can just type in J and the last name Smith, and it'll search for anybody in that zip code. If you have the assessor's parcel number, you can type that in here, or you can also do the street lookup. And the street lookup is really if you know the block range that the property is on, but you don't know the exact address. So if you know that it was somewhere in the 200 block of Main Street, you can type in 200 Main. We can either put in, I would almost even avoid putting some of this in so you're not getting too specific. And we're going to go ahead and leave this open. Now it's going to go ahead and bring me up a pick list. So it says your entry returned the following best match addresses. If you still encounter a problem, please contact your sales executive. And you can see here, now I have a nice pick list that I can pick from to build my property profile here. So I know that it was actually 200 West Main Street and it's in Alhambra, and I can go from there. Some other features over here, we're going to show your recent requests. And that's basically anything that you've searched in the last little bit. You can come over here and set it to maybe the last 50, see what kind of profiles, online documents, different things like that. You can also look at your recent searches. So the difference between recent requests and recent searches, recent requests are anything that you've done maybe in the last few months, up to the last 50 products that you've searched for. Recent searches is only going to show you anything that you've searched since you've been logged into this session. So once you log out, it's going to close that out and you're not going to see anything else until you log back in and start searching. So up here under the user profile, this is also where you're going to see your user information. If you switch companies and you needed to change your email address, you can do that here as well. You can change your password, different things like that. Then over on the left-hand side, this is where we have some extra features over here for you. So products, you're going to see that we have eFarms, the online documents, and the documents by property. So we actually give you 3 different ways to search for documents. The first one was what I showed you within the property profile. You would see those documents hyperlinked directly in the property profile. You can also click on online documents. If you know the document number, you can search by that. Documents by property will actually let you go in, type in an address, and then show you everything that's associated with that property. So we give you 3 different ways to search those documents to try to make it as easy for you as possible. If you just need to get the deed of trust on a certain property, you don't need the full profile, this is going to be the way to do that. Premium leads we're going to go back into a little bit later. But basically the premium leads let you go in and search for data that we as a title company here in California are not allowed to provide per SB 133, which took effect in 2009. So that's including information like the loan data, interest rates, phone numbers, all that other stuff that is not assessor-based data that you would find in our regular farms or on a property profile. Services, we have our easy to read comp site. We'll take a look at that a little bit later, but that just opens up a simple 1-line summary in any area that you click on. School reports if you're looking for school information. And then the quick menu has everything else that we have on here. It's got a list of our endorsements that are on here. And these are basically extra coverage that you can add for your insurance policy. A lot of lenders would like to see this information. Blank legal documents. So if you need a deed of trust or you need a grant deed so that you can fill it out for your client, we've got all of that on here. These do have the more recent notary jurats as well. So these will be current documents that you can use. Then we also have some marketing material, which is really great if you need to find some information, you're looking for a topic that you'd like to discuss, or you just need some information on wire fraud or new laws, things like that. You can actually click on this and go directly to our site that shows some of our branded flyers on here. It's really great information. So these are all new laws that took effect in 2019. We've also got 8 common ways to hold title. Some great information here, a ton of great marketing material on here. So if you just need some information for yourself, it's on the weekend, you can't get a hold of your sales exec, give this a try and check it out. We've also got some of this stuff in Spanish. So you see Prop 60 and 90 in Espanol, and a whole lot of other information on here as well. We come back, you can also have the entire site. So we talked about the property profile getting translated earlier. You can also have the entire site translated into Chinese, Korean, Spanish, Vietnamese as well. We've got some other endorsements on here, the ALTA endorsements as well as the CLTA endorsements. the legal glossary, the NTI website, some state-specific endorsements, stuff like that. View offline orders. So if you were to place a title order with us and you wanted to go back and check that it was in here, you can check on that as well. Buyers and sellers guides, as well as our utility website. So you're going to use the same password for this. Remember I was telling you earlier, it's the same password for everything. This is going to let you go in and check utilities for a specific area, which is great. So if we needed to find out what the utilities were for Arcadia, you just click on this. We know Chamber of Commerce, power, electric, water, trash, school district, all that information is right here at your fingertips. If you'd like to place an order with Chicago Title, we've got an easy couple of forms up here that you can use. Just click on Place an Order. You're going to select the type of order that you need to place, whether it's going to be a Chicago Title order that covers residential resales or the residential escrow order, or even the refi order. You can use any of these. We're going to go ahead and go through the Chicago Title order form. It's very basic. We're going to start with your information and continue on. If you have an escrow number or an order number, you can go ahead and enter that in here as well. And then we just want to know who the referral piece is. So if you happen to be an outside escrow that's placing it on behalf of an agent, we want to try and get that agent's name. We always want to make sure that we're sending thank yous out to anybody that's given us business. So we'd love to have as much information there as possible. And then on over here, whatever type of policy you're ordering, if it's going to be residential resale, we want to make sure that we're getting you the CLTA owner's policy. If it's just a refi, then we're probably just going to do the Alta lenders. We also want to make sure that we're ordering any extra endorsements if need be. And of course, we need the property details. So where the property is located and what type of property it is. That's going to make a big difference in what type of coverage we provide. So again, really anything that we can get here, as much information and as much detail as possible so we can get that order open for you would be fantastic. And then you just want to review it before you submit that order. We want to go back. If you were placing a farm request, you can actually do that directly here to go to our farm department. Same thing with our property profile request. If you're not comfortable necessarily running property profiles here on the website, you can just go through and request it directly from our customer service department, and they'll get that for you as well. If you're having any trouble after hours and you'd like to speak to one of our customer service representatives, you can also click on our Get Live Help, and that's our chat line where you can go on if you need help getting a recorded document, you need a deed, you have a question on a property profile, anything like that. They're available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. and also on weekends from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. So now we're going to go ahead and do a quick eFarms search. We're going to do an updated video on this. We know that we've got a new eFarms product coming out pretty soon, so we'll do a follow-up with this once that's available. But for now, if it's the weekend and you just need to get a little bit of data, you can click on eFarms, and it's going to let you run a pretty basic search. You're going to define your farm geographically. Are you looking by an address, zip code, city, you've got a track number, parcel book, whatever it is, you can go ahead and enter that in here. I'm going to go ahead and show you the address and intersection because it will let you pull up a map. So the first thing I'm going to do is type in my address. And I want to do the interactive map. So you could also do a radius around it. You can go a quarter mile out, half mile out. It's just giving you specific increments to go out. But the interactive map lets you get a little more in detail. So I needed to find it, found my address, great. I'm going to continue on. Now what it's done is it's bringing up my property on this map. So I've got a couple options here as well. So I can do a radius out from it. See that? It's going to tell you how far you're going out. Or I can draw a box around it. So if I have a specific area that I needed to draw a box around, I can do that as well. And all I'm doing is clicking on the points. Once I'm done and I want to close that box, all I have to do is right click. And that's going to close up my box. I'm going to hit this little green arrow to continue on. And now it's going to let me break down the different types of properties that I'm looking for. So I can do all single family residences. I can get into commercial types. I'm going to go ahead and do all 1 to 4 units. So single family condos 2 to 4. We can do owner occupied versus absentee. We can also look at the types of sales. So if we just were looking for specific sales in this area, we can do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and continue on down here. You can do surname filters. But I want to go ahead and look at specific property types as far as how big they are, bedrooms and bathrooms, things like that. Let's say I have a buyer who's looking for a specific type of house. So since we ran this around a particular subject property, what it's showing me is those property values. So that if I wanted to search for properties that are similar, I know exactly what I'm looking for now. So let's say we want to do properties that are 700 to 1,200 square feet. And they've got plus or minus 2 bedrooms. Let's actually do 2 to 4. So I'm going to go ahead and come on down here. We're going to click continue, see exactly what we come up with. So the first thing it's going to do is give you a count. Now, if you need more properties or fewer properties, it's too much, you can actually just click on any of these pieces of criteria right here and adjust them without having to start over. But I am actually pretty good with that number. I think that's a good number. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on. We want to make sure to give it a name so that the site doesn't just assign a random name to it. I'll click continue here. Now it's going to go through and count. You can see how it says pending right here. Once it's finished, it'll say that it's ready, and that name that I gave it is going to turn into a red link that I can click on. So that'll take just a couple of seconds here, and we should have that information. And you can see it says that it's ready. I'm going to click on that to continue. The first time you do it, you're also going to have a couple more disclaimers, just making sure that you know that, again, this is another free product. This is not an insurance product, so data is deemed reliable but not guaranteed. It's going to have you put in the number of records you want. Sometimes people may go through this and not realize how many records they're looking at, so it's just a way of forcing you to acknowledge how many records you're actually downloading. So I'm going to go ahead and download all of them. Now you can see I've got different output options here. So I can do labels if I have blank labels to throw into my printer to print. I can do the farm report, or I can download it as a spreadsheet as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do a few of these so that you can see what they all look like. We're going to do some 5160s. So the 5161s are 2 across. They are a 1 by 4 inch label. The 5160s are 3 across. So they're about, I think it's 2 5/8 by 1 inch. This is a pretty standard size that we use. Let's also look at the 6-line PDF. And then I'm going to also select the ASCII comma delimited select fields below. So I held my control button to select 3 different formats so I can download them all at once. So now it's asking me in my spreadsheet which fields I want to include. So I might want to include my bedrooms and bathrooms. I want to go ahead and include the year built, square footage, the lot size, and my zoning. On the left-hand side, you're going to see these are all the default fields. So what I can do here now is I can actually give this a name. So I want this to be my standard download. So next time I come in, I don't have to go through and select a bunch of different fields. I'm going to save that. Do I want to remove duplicates? If I'm doing mailing labels, I probably want to remove duplicates. I don't want to send the same postcard or mailing piece or letter or whatever it is to the same person 8 different times. So this would also let me select if I needed to send it to or current resident or dear neighbor at, things like that. I can also enter this in here. And what's nice about this is a lot of post offices are requiring this verbiage on here so that the labels will get delivered. We don't want to spend a bunch of money on postcards and things like that just to have a bunch of them come back. So now you can see I've got all 3 of my downloads here. See, I've got the owner's name or current resident. These labels are already formatted. All you got to do is stick blank labels that match that size into your printer and print them out. The 6-line farm, pretty basic. You're going to have all the same information as what we would include if we were sending you a farm from customer service. So the owner's name, their mailing address, the parcel number, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, year built, all of that information. It's going to take a couple minutes now to download this. So let's go back over here while that downloads. We're going to look at our spreadsheet here. So once you have an Excel, you can do a lot of different things with this. You can use it in your CRM. You can upload it to a postcard printer. You can merge your own mail merge letters, flyers, whatever it is you need to do. You got a lot of flexibility once it's in there. This is just going to take a couple of seconds here. It's a little bit slow on my connection, so I apologize. But you can see here, like I said, it's all the basic information that we would normally include with a farm if you were getting that from our farm department. So what type of property it is, when it was built, square footage, all that good information. So you can also go back if you needed to select a different output option, or you wanted to go to your saved searches, pull up an old farm, you can do that as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial. It's just here to get you comfortable and familiar with using our Premier Services website. Again, if you're not on it, please do reach out to your sales rep to get signed up. Go to chicagotitle.com, click on Not a Member, and we'll get you going from there. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to your sales executive as well. And we'd love to help you out with that. Thank you so much.